And when Jesus came nigh to Jerusalem, and came to Bethphage at the Mount of Olives, then sent he his 2 disciples, and said to them, Go ye into the castle that is against you, and anon ye shall find an ass tied, and a colt with her. Untie ye, and bring to me. And if any man say to you anything, say ye, that the Lord hath need to them, and anon he shall leave them. All this was done, that that thing should be fulfilled, that was said by the prophet, saying, Say ye to the daughter of Zion, Lo, thy king cometh to thee, meek, sitting on an ass, and a foal of an ass, under yoke. And the disciples went and did as Jesus commanded them. And they brought an ass and the foal, and laid their clothes on them, and made him sit above. And full much people spreaded their clothes in the way. Others cutted branches of trees, and strewed in the way. And the people that went before, and that pursued, cried and said, Hosanna to the Son of David. Blessed is he that cometh in the name of the Lord. Hosanna in high things. And when he was entered into Jerusalem, all this city was stirred and said, Who is this? But the people said, This is Jesus, the prophet of Nazareth of Galilee. And Jesus entered into the temple of God, and cast out of the temple all that bought and sold. And he turned upside down the board of changers, and the chairs of men that sold culvers. And he said to them, It is written, Mine house shall be called an house of prayer, but ye have made it a den of thieves. And blind and crooked came to him in the temple, and he healed them. But the princes of priests and the scribes, seeing the marvelous things that he did, and the children crying in the temple and saying, Hosanna to the Son of David, they had indignation, and said to him, Hearest thou what these say? And Jesus said to them, Yea, whether ye have never read, that of the mouth of young children and of suckling children thou hast made perfect praising. And when he had left them, he went forth out of the city into Bethany, and there he dwelt, and taught them of the kingdom of God. But on the morrow he turned again into the city, hungered, and he saw a fig tree beside the way, and came to it, and found nothing therein, but leaves only. And he said to it, Never fruit come forth of thee. And anon the fig tree was dried up. And the disciples saw and wondered, saying, How anon it dried. And Jesus answered and said to them, Truly I say to you, if ye have faith and doubt not, not only ye shall do of the fig tree, but also if ye say to this hill, Take and cast thee into the sea, it shall be done so. And all things, whatever ye believing, shall ask in prayer, ye shall take. When he came into the temple, the princes of priests and elder men of the people came to him that taught, and said, In what power doest thou these things? And who gave thee this power? Jesus answered and said to them, And I shall ask you one word, the which if ye tell me, I shall say to you, in what power I do these things. Of whence was the baptism of John? Of heaven or of men? And they thought within themselves, saying, If we say of heaven, he shall say to us, Why then believe ye not to him? If we say of men, we dread the people, for all had John as a prophet. And they answered to Jesus and said, We know not. And he said to them, Neither I say to you, in what power I do these things. But what seemeth to you? A man had 2 sons. And he came to the first and said, Son, go work this day in my vineyard. And he answered and said, I will not. But afterward he repented and went forth. But he came to the other and said in like manner. And he answered and said, Lord, I go. And he went not. Who of the twain did the Father's will? They say to him, the first. Jesus saith to them, Truly I say to you, for publicans and whores shall go before you into the kingdom of God. For John came to you in the way of rightwiseness, and ye believe not to him. But publicans and whores believed to him. But ye saw, and had no repenting after, that ye believed to him. Hear ye another parable. There was an husbandman that planted a vineyard, and hedged it about, and delved a presser therein, and builded a tower, and hired it to earth tillers, and went far in pilgrimage. And when the time of fruits nighed, he sent his servants to the earth tillers to take fruits of it. And the earth tillers took his servants, and they beat one, they slew another, and stoned another. Again he sent other servants, more than the first, and in like manner they did to them. And at the last he sent his son to them, and said, They shall dread my son. But the earth tillers, seeing the son, said within themselves, This is the heir. Come ye, slay we him, and we shall have his heritage. And they took him, and casted him out of the vineyard, slew him. Therefore, when the Lord of the vineyard shall come, what shall he do to those earth tillers? They say to him, He shall lose evil, the evil men, and he shall set to hire his vineyard to other earth tillers, which shall yield to him fruit in their times. Jesus saith to them, Read ye never in scriptures, the stone which the builders reproved, this is made into the head of the corner. Of the Lord this thing is done, and it is marvelous in our eyes. Therefore I say to you, that the kingdom of God shall be taken from you, and it shall be given to a folk doing fruits of it. And he that shall fall on this stone shall be broken, but on whom it shall fall, it shall bruise him all to pieces. When the princes of priests and Pharisees had heard his parables, they knew that he said of them, and they sought to hold him, but they dreaded the people, for they had him as a prophet.